Hi there, this is Tracy with Totally Trace. It's Wednesday, so I am live here with you. I am going to be demonstrating a card for you. But first, what you're looking at is my next card class to go. And so this is using the Lovely Arrangements Suite. And you can get the card kit to make the same cards as me. You'll get all the supplies needed to make these 5 cards. So you will get 2 feet of the cloud cover ribbon. You're going to get 4 sheets of the 6x6 sheets of the designer series paper. You're going to get 16 of these moody dots, which I'm loving. And then you're going to get all the cardstock cut and prepped for you. The only thing you need is the ink and stamps and adhesive. If you are interested in that, I do have that in the comment section below. But today what I'm going to make for you is I'm going to make, hang on, let me get myself organized. I'm going to make an alternate project. So a couple weeks ago, I did my Endless Love class and we made this cute little bag. And this is what we still had left over from the bag because these Gusseted treat bags are huge. And I promised you I was going to make another project with it so that for those of you that took this class that you have this extra piece or you have the PDF so you know you would also have the extra piece. I'm going to show you one idea of what to do with it. All right, so to get started, I've pulled out a white card base, and this is just 5.5 by 4 1/4. Well, that's not true. It's 5.5 by 8.5 that I have scored at 4 1/4 to make it 5.5 by 4 1/4. And okay, there we go. Just adjusting my camera, sorry. And now I've gone down 1/4 inch with the real red. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss it with this Hearts of Love embossing folder. It's one of the 3D ones, which I absolutely love. I love how it just adds so much dimension. So all I'm doing is running that through. And check that out. Hopefully you can see the dimension that that provides. All right, so here's what I was thinking for this. We're going to see how this comes together. So again, this is the leftover piece after my live from 2 weeks ago where we made this. And so I was thinking that this is going to become a pocket on the front of the card. And of course, right now it's too big. And I'm thinking I want it right here or right here. So I'm going to start with the bigger because I can always cut more away, but I can't add more. Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining today. Let me put it in this way so that those of you following along can use the same measurements. So that's 3 inches. I'm going to go to 3 1/4. And I'm cutting that up from the bottom. So see, at the bottom still has that piece there. All right, we're just going to see how this looks, or if I need to cut off some more. Okay, I think I'm going to try this. We can always cut off more in a little bit if needed. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some white cardstock in the center. All right, so I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4 because that width will fit inside the bag. That's how I came up with that. And then let's see how I cut it at 3 1/4. So we'll make this one. How about we make a square 3 3/4 by 3 3/4? Because again, I can cut it smaller if I don't like how it looks, but we can't add it back in. All right. Oh, I might like this length. Let's see how it looks when it's on the card. I was thinking going crooked. Okay, yep, I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off. So instead we're going to have 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. All right, let's check out how it looks now. Hi, Karen. Okay, yes, that looks much better. All right, so this piece, what I want to do is I want to add some designer series paper at the top because I want the person receiving this card to know that they're going to pull that out. And so I also pulled out some ribbon because they might need a bigger clue than that. So off to the side here, I should probably show you in case you can't see what I'm doing. So here is my envelope of all my scraps that I have left. And so I just want a little piece that I can glue up to the top, but I also want it to coordinate. And see, I'm thinking, I was just going to say, I'm thinking that's too busy. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, what was on the other side? Nope, too Poppy Parade. And I am out of Poppy Parade paper, waiting on my next order. All right, let's try that one. So I'm going to cut that to 3 3/4. And I'll tell you the length in case, or the width, whatever the case may be. 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 3/4. Although I'm not sure that dimension really matters. Again, I just pulled a scrap out. And so I'm picturing that here. I'm not gluing anything down. Hopefully by now, if you're a follower of mine, you know I like to see how everything looks and then I glue at the ends. So I'm thinking it'll look like that on my card, and I kind of like it crooked. But it's getting a little big, so I might even cut this down a little bit more. We'll see. All right, then, so I'm using the Endless Love Suite, and I have been using this. Hopefully you know this. Hopefully you're following me and seeing all my reels and my lives. I have been working with this for, I think, since December, to be honest. Yeah, I think as soon as Christmas was over, the next day I was, who knows, maybe even Christmas Day, I was in working on Valentine's cards. So I have all these things that I've cut either for classes or I was designing a card and didn't like how it looked. Something like this one's even stamped. Oh, I have this piece. You might have watched me when I made a card and didn't end up liking that. So I just keep all of it in an envelope. So I'm just going to play with these. And again, all of these are die cut out of that Endless Love Suite. So they're all these hearts. This one by far is my favorite. So we're going to see if we can incorporate that one in there. But I'm wondering, see, I'm telling you this, I just love layering these hearts. I was going to say, I don't think that color is going to work, but now that it's there, they all go together. I don't know. I might just like that. Let's put a little bubble bath in there too. I haven't layered this over yet. Oh, maybe I like that. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that. And then, of course, we'll want a sentiment on there. So I'm just going to kind of lay this just so I can see. This is a tag, same thing, it's from there. And then I love these little X's and O's. Because look, just putting that there. All right, what do you think? I'm thinking I might actually like that. All right, let's get some stamped images in there. So we have all this. I'm going to start with Sending You. I've never stamped it on there, but it does look like it will fit. But I don't think I want to do that. Hi, Diane. Oh, Diane, I was just seeing that, I was just getting notifications that you were liking something on my page, so I didn't know you were in here live with me too. I gotta tell you, I just got new white embossing powder, and part of me wants to stamp on red and emboss, but I don't have any of that next to me, so I won't make you wait for me to do that. All right, that scrap might be too big. Let me find, here's a thinner one. We'll try that. me pull out the real red. So I don't know if you follow Stampin' Up, but when I did the Endless Love class 2 weeks ago with you, I had showed you how to make this card or this bag, and I told you that I saw it on the Stampin' Up website. I was like, I need to figure out how they did it, and I spent hours, and I thought I was so clever making it. Well, they did a video this week on how they actually made it. I wasn't anywhere close to how they did it, but I think mine actually worked out as an easier way to do it. And then I also have this much of the bag left to be able to make this. So not necessarily a bad thing, but when I watched it, I laughed and thought, oh yeah, that's how they did it. Look how cute that is. All right, but I was wanting to put hugs and kisses on there somewhere. I don't know if that would look funny with another one or if I should just put it on the inside. Oh, I have an idea. How about, so that the Words of Beauty, I think is the name of the set. I've told you it's a must-have. In it, it has the 3 dots. And so now on all my cards, I want to put the 3 dots, you know, the ellipses. So watch how I'm going to do that. So I've just got my real red marker. I'm just going to go. I mean, I could pull out the stamp, but I don't need to. And then on the inside, that piece that pulls out, I'm going to put something. I would say hugs and kisses, but now I might put love. Okay, yes, I like that better. All right, what do you think? Does it need anything else, or is that decorated enough? I could go crazy with all these hearts. I mean, of course, I'm going to probably add some bling. Let's work on this piece to see. Well, actually, let me check out sizing again. Oh, I'm seeing hearts go by. Must mean that you like it. Okay, I won't cut it down then. So I'm going to glue this piece here. And then I'm going to hole punch it. I might wait a second on that for that glue to dry. So how about we put sending you love. I keep putting this real red stamp set away, or ink away, and I need it. Uh-oh, my love stamp is losing its stickiness. It tells me I've used it a lot. All right. And by the way, if that happens to you, all I'm going to do is use my chamois and just wipe it down. It just means I've used it a lot, and there's probably grease from, you know, oil from fingers. That sounded really gross, but you know, that just the natural thing that happens. Okay, I'm going to try and get that center and pop a hole there. And then I would probably use the bubble bath ribbon that comes in the suite, but I am all out of that. So look, I'm on my last little bit of that shiny red ribbon that came out with the Christmas stuff. I don't know if this one's still available, but it is a super pretty ribbon. So let's see if I can thread this big thick ribbon through here. I broke my thumbnail, the fingernail. I didn't break my thumb. And so I'm used to being able to grab it. Let's use the other hand. All right, it's going to be difficult. Oh my goodness. There we go. I just needed the fingernails. Okay. I'll thread that through. Hi, Mary Ellen. Okay. So now let's put this in. And of course, we'll trim that down. But again, I'm not going to do anything until I'm sure I like it. But I think I'm close to gluing. So we'll put this. I do like it crooked. And then that. And then we're going to have the sending you. All right, I think I like it. I'm going to start gluing down. I'm going to use a little stamp and seal today. All right, and then we'll glue this down. And again, this is one of those bags. They are ginormous. Yes, thank you, Diane. Get in the hole. They are ginormous. And so I've made, out of this one, I made a bag and now this card. And of course, you could have cut this apart and had 2 sheets of designer series paper. You could have made a box out of it. You could have just used it as another smaller treat bag because it has that bottom on it. My goodness. My supplies are running out. I'm not feeling very prepared today. So I'm going to use minis because my big ones I didn't restock. And they're across the room. Put these XOs. This is another one of those sets that when it goes on the last chance list, as it probably will in April-ish, I'm going to be sad to see it go because I just feel like I've used it so much and I love all the die cuts. I love all the paper. Okay, and then this one's always a fun one to glue down. Just hold that for a second. And then I'm also going to trap it with this piece. So watch how I'm going to get around making sure that that heart is going to stay. So I'm actually going to put a dimensional right there. So that will help hold it in place too. Okay, I pulled out my loose Valentines, but honestly, I don't think it needs it. That's saying a lot, you know, if I don't think it needs bling. I'll cut this ribbon down. All right, so there is our card. Again, it has that bag. I mean, look, you could really even put something else in that bag. And it just pops right out. So you could write a message there, or you could keep it as the card too and still write your message on the inside. All right, so that is the card for today. I am live back on Wednesday, or not Wednesday, today's Wednesday, on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then next week is my free card class, so make sure you're a part of my email list so that you can get the measurements for that. Again, if you've never been a part of that, I share measurements and you use whatever supplies you have, and then I'm going to use those measurements to make 4 completely different cards. So join me for that. And then 2 weeks from tonight, I will be doing the class that I showed you at the beginning, and you can still pre-order that kit. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.